Hi, I'm Chris from Shoot the Bull. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. I thought I'd share with you this going fish curry recipe we've been working on during lockdown. I love Indian food so much and I try and take influence from those spices and that into our Shoot the Bull classic food. So we're going to do a going fish curry, fresh roti and a lemon rice. So the first thing to do is of course wash your hands, and we all know we sing happy birthday when we do that. So I'll go do that. Right, we're back. Let's now get cooking. So first things first, we're going to get our onion and we're going to chop that up. In Indian cuisine, the cooking of this onion is really important. You know, the more colorization you get on the onion at this moment when we start frying them has a real effect on that final product. They're going to take about 7 or 8 minutes to fry off just on a medium heat. Something kind of like that. It's going to stay in the sauce. This is not a blended curry sauce, so anything you put in there is going to be in there at the end as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our saucepan, medium heat, and get a little bit of oil in there. Just before we fry the onions, we're going to add the nigella seeds and the mustard seeds. So in they go with there. And what you're listening out for is that popping sound there and that little simmer. You can hear that on, I don't know if the camera will pick up on it. Basically that is the mustard seeds and the cumin seeds going, hello, I'm flavour. We're just releasing it all, and it's going to be, you know, all that flavour is going to go into the sauce. It's just going to be beautiful. We're going to go in with the onions now. So in they go. We're going to get our flour. I've already pre-weighed this out in here. I've got a wholemeal flour, and we're going to add a nice pinch of salt into there. Just give that little toss in the flour. Add a bit of vegetable oil. Now this, you wouldn't see in an Indian kitchen, so this is why I didn't get it out yet. Yeast goes in as a little cheat. Now this is simply because in authentic Indian cookery, if you make a roti and it doesn't rise, it's like a failure. You're like, you know, you'll be judged. So I decided we'll just put a little sprinkling of yeast in there, and that will just make up and keep us safe and make sure we get a nice roti that puffs up when we fry it. So don't forget about your onions. Keep giving those a stir. So once you've mixed your little bit of yeast, your salt and your oil, we're just going to go to the tap, cold water. I'm just going to bind this till it forms a dough. You'll just be able to pinch it all together. It should feel slightly tacky, and you just can all see how it's all as one there. So then we can put it onto a dusted surface. We can start to knead that. So I've got a bit more flour. Just sprinkle that onto the surface, and then we're just kneading it, which is a to and from motion. You kind of fold the bread into each other and just push it down, folding it and pushing it. So knead this for about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm just going to shape it into a small round. I'm going to pop that now underneath a damp tea towel. By this time, your onions and your hard spices have really started to sweat down and work together. So we're going to give them a bit of attention now. We're going to add the ginger, I'm going to add the chili flakes, I'm going to add the garlic. So we don't put these in earlier because we don't want to, these ingredients will burn much easier. The burnt chili is a flavour that will really carry through in the dish, so you've got to be careful. It's the onions we want to get the caramelisation from, because that's going to give it that deepness and that kind of almost smoky flavour, but the other spices will give a burnt flavour, so that's why we're going to put them in at this point now. Okay, now we're going to take our fish. So you've got a number of options on the fish. You're looking for a meaty fish. I've chosen coley. It doesn't have to be coley. You can use cod, you could use pollock, you can use haddock. You know, any kind of meaty, fleshy fish that can hold it in its own chunks is what we're looking for. Okay, I'm going to dice that up into nice kind of 2 mouthful chunks, I like to call it. Once you've got your fish diced, it'll look like that. I'm going to put that in a bowl. I'm just going to toss that with a bit of turmeric. So the turmeric across the fish. I'm going to give that a nice toss. We're going to get our second pan. I'm going to get that nice and hot, and we're going to use that to sear off the fish. I'm going to add the tinned tomatoes now into the curry. Now I rinse my can out with some water and I put that into the curry sauce as well. So the saucepan's nice and hot, ready for the fish. So you get the turmeric coated fish, let's fry that off. So all in one go. Okay, so the fish is in that nice hot saucepan. Into that we're going to add our chilli powder. Now I think I missed this off the ingredients list, but you've probably got it. Coriander and cumin. I'm just going to put a little teaspoon of my 2-to-1 mix of that into the fish as well. You've got the fish coated in all those spices. We're going to add that now into that tomato sauce base we've got for the going fish curry. Cover with a lid. I'm just going to let that simmer away on a low heat just to cook that fish through and really get all those flavours marrying together that we've put into the sauce base. The next job, we're going to start the lemon rice. The importance of rice is to wash it. You've really got to wash the rice first. That is what helps the texture, that fluffy pilau rice style. Okay, we've got our washed rice here. We're going to now just cover that 2-to-1 with water. So that's there. Just 2 parts above the rice with cold water. Into that now, I'm going to add some lemon juice. So you're looking for about the juice of 1 lemon here. Now I couldn't get lemons from the shop, so I've had to go with the Jif lemon juice. So hopefully that's going to work out well. Into that we'll add a couple of curry leaves and some table salt. So we're ready to put the rice on the heat now. We're going to bring that up to the boil, and then we're going to turn it down to a low simmer. Let all the water nearly evaporate. You'll just see spots, like little pops of a little bit of water on the top of the rice, and then we'll turn it off the heat and put the lid on. That way you'll get that really lovely rice texture, and we'll fluff it up with a fork as we come to serve. Whilst you put the rice on, give that curry a little stir. You can check the seasoning at this point. I'm going to add a tablespoon of tomato puree. So if you're not feeling like a chef already, we're now going to have 3 things on the go at once. So you've got your curry on the go, you've got the rice on the go, now we're going to start making the rotis. You've got the bread. We're going to now cut that into about 6 balls, I think, from your recipe. I've done a smaller batch here, so I'm getting 4. We're just going to do that. Roll it into a ball in your hand, and then push that down on the work surface. Dusted work surface again. And you take your rolling pin and roll that out now into a nice thin bread. Now it is key that it is the same thickness throughout, same thickness across the whole of the dough. That is how you're going to get the rise. I just go for rough round as close to as I can get it. So like that. So we're just looking for a nice thin roti bread. Okay, once you've rolled out your rotis, that rice should be coming up to the boil, so we're just going to lower that heat now. Okay, so I've rolled out the rotis. The rice is coming up to the boil. I've just turned the heat down slightly on that. I'm going to chop some fresh coriander and some green chilies, which we're going to use to finish the dish, and then we'll start bringing it all together. Fresh coriander, a real citrus flavour to it. It's just going to work nice with the fish. Green chilies. Again, if you like the spice, you can leave the seeds in. If you're not so sure, then by all means take the seeds out. Just going to go through the rice. So, time for the rotis. You want that frying pan on a warm heat. You need a pair of tongs. Okay, once you can feel that warm heat, We're just going to add a tiny dash of oil into the pan, run that around, and then we can go in with the roti. So the roti is going to go into the pan like so. So we're looking for a nice golden colour both sides of the bread. You'll see it start to rise slightly in the pan. You'll see little pockets of air bubbles in there. Okay, whilst we're doing the rotis, I've got another little frying pan on the go. So I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in, let that get warm. Add the coconut milk into the fish curry now as well. Pan's nice and warm with a little bit of oil. I'm going to add some cumin seeds. And again, we're just looking for that pop-in hello flavour. Add a little bit of chilli powder. I'm going to add some turmeric. I'm going to add the green chilies we chopped. Now I'm turning off the heat. Lid back on. Add half of the fresh coriander into the rice as well. The other half into the fish curry. Then that fish curry is nearly ready now. This is where you can decide how healthy you want to be. I'm going to add a nice chunk of butter. That's going to really give the sauce a glossy feel, richness, and just help marry all the flavours in. But this is optional. If you want to be healthy, you can avoid putting the butter in. For that, I'm all about flavour. Okay, so the rice is still covered with the lid. The rotis are all cooked. It's time to start plating up. I'm just going to take a fork. I'm going to fluff that rice all up and put that rice all into a bowl. You can add a bit of fresh lemon zest if you've got it. I of course couldn't get any lemons. Okay, so there we have it. Golden fish curry, fresh rotis and lemon rice. Thanks again for watching. I'm Chris from Shoot the Bull, and we can't wait to welcome you back in one of our restaurants soon when it's safe to do so. Take care, look after yourselves.